YouTube, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are. Welcome to the Cali Truck Stop Theater. I just want to say, I just want to say hello once again. Thank you for checking out my video. If this is your first time looking at my video, or even if you've looked at my videos before and you've never subscribed to my channel, please do so. Subscribe to my channel. Also like the videos, do a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and then click on the bell so that you can get the latest updates of the videos that I post up on YouTube. Yeah, go ahead and do that. I'm guilty of it myself, where I'll look at somebody's video and yeah, they had some pretty good stuff, and I didn't click on it, but I'm trying to get better at that. If I see something that I like, I'll do a thumbs up, and I'll even maybe subscribe to a channel or two. But anyways, do that. If you like what I post up here, go ahead and subscribe, like the videos, and click on the bell button. And if there's a subject or something that you'd like for me to talk about, leave your message in the comment. If you got a comment on how on the type of content that I'm displaying, or you want to talk about whatever, leave your comment in the comment section there, and I'll look at it when I get a chance, and I'll respond to you. And if it's something that's interesting to put on the channel, then I'll put it up there. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Subscribe. So with this particular video, well, there's actually a couple of things I was going to talk about on the video, but I guess I'll start off with the festivities of today. So today, for me, seemed like any other day. Let's see here, let me get a little piece of cake. I'm noticing that my little hairs is showing up on the screen there. I need to shave, which I'm gonna do here in a little while. But anyways, my day started out rather just like any other day for me. I normally am driving at night, or I try to. So I was finishing up a trip, dropping off a load in Hurricane, Utah. Yeah, that's a weird name for a city, but anyways, it was Hurricane, Utah. Some of you may be familiar with that, but yeah, it was a normal day until today. And I just want to, well, let me just start off before I explain what went on. What I wanted to say is that it's about being safe on the roadways. So doesn't matter if you're a truck driver or if you're just a weekend warrior on the road or whatever. Be careful out there on the roadways. Okay, you can get hurt, seriously hurt, and you can even get killed out here on these roadways. So be careful and pay attention to what you're doing, especially with the holidays coming in. You really want to be careful about what you're doing out there. I know that there's going to be a lot of things that's going to be on your mind. Family you're going to meet, gifts and food, and all this kind of stuff, all the fun festive activities that you guys do with your families and stuff like that. You guys are going to have a lot of things popping up now that the holiday season is about to kick in here. You got Halloween, and then you're going to have what is that? You're going to have Veterans Day, and then it's going to be Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and New Year's, and you got Hanukkah and all these other holidays. It's going to be popping up in the winter and fall. So we as drivers have got a lot of things on our mind. For a truck driver, most of the time it's going to be, well, hey, I'm trying to get this load in on time. I'm trying to get myself set up for another load. I need to go stop at a rest break. I got to get home to family. Da 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 da. So there's a lot of different things that go on in the mind of people. So when you're out here driving, you do need to pay attention to what you're doing. Be safe. Be courteous. Don't always try and get your way out here in this traffic. Okay. So I'm saying all that because of this. Now, my day was pretty much the same as just about every other day. In, out, bada bing, bada boom. But today was unexpected for me. Why would I say it's unexpected for me? Because I wasn't thinking about it. So, what had happened today? As I said, I was making a drop. I got done with the drop, and then on the way out of the consignee, and just down the street from the consignee, I was getting ready to go back on the freeway. So there's a street, there's an intersection out there in Hurricane, Utah. It's called West State Street and Old Highway 91. So right there in that intersection, just right off of the 15 freeway. So I was making my way back to the freeway because I was done unloading. I was getting ready to go to my next stop, and I'm coming off of Old Highway 91 and getting ready to go on State Street at that little intersection right there. And what had happened there was that I had an accident unfold right in front of my eyes. And the reason why I said that it caught me off guard is because that accident almost involved me. Almost. I was just feet away from being a part of the accident. So let me just run right quick, run through the let me try and paint a picture of the area for you. So at the time of this video, that little area right there it appears to be under construction. Okay, so when I got off the freeway to drop off, right, I had to come through that intersection. And as I came off the freeway and got on State Street, and I was approaching the intersection there, State Street and Old Highway 91, I noticed that whatever construction crew that is out there maintaining the roads out there, they put those big old construction barrels out there, and they shut off one of the lanes all the way back from the freeway up to the intersection, and then after you pass the intersection, it kept going. So, but the thing that I noticed about it was that these construction barrels right up to the intersection cut off access to the left turn lane. So when I approached this intersection, I'm like, I gotta go left, but that left lane is closed out. Now, I didn't see any signs that said that you couldn't make no left turns there, and the street wasn't blocked off to where you couldn't make that turn, so I needed to make that turn. Now, with State Street running east and west, there's east and west traffic there. So, looking at the street lights, I had a green light. I also know that the green light would be showing for the opposite, the traffic on the opposite side. So what I did was I scanned the intersection to ensure that nothing was in the way, no cars was coming, anything of that nature. So I did that, and I took off and went right onto the other street. Okay. Now, when I came back, I was coming back and I was going back, back to the freeway. So I was getting ready to get off of Highway 91 and going on to State Street. So I'm stopped at that intersection there. I'm stopped off back to where where you got the limit line and stuff like that, right? So but there was still some room up ahead to where I could move up to get a better look at the road if I wanted to. Well, I stopped right there at the limit line, and I could see, you know, a good length of street, you know, down the road, you know, but I was going to move on up so that I can prepare myself to make the turn, you know, once I see it was all clear. Well, I didn't do that. I just happened to stay. I just stayed right there. Okay, I stayed right there, and I looked to my left, and I did see a vehicle approaching. So I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for that vehicle to pass before I venture out there. Well, as I was starting to make my scan from my left to the right, I noticed a white car coming from, the freeway area. So they were actually going eastbound. So I see, as I'm scanning to the right, I see that white car coming, and he's wanting to make that left turn where I made the left turn, but he's doing it from the center lane, which is the closest lane to the left or to the center of the road, to make the turn. But this is the thing. I didn't see him stop or anything like that. I just saw him turn and keep going. And what ended up happening was that because he did that, he went into the path of this black truck that was coming down the street. The black truck apparently didn't see him, and I didn't hear no skid marks, no nothing. This black truck, this pickup truck, slammed into that white car at full speed, whatever the speed limit was out there. I don't think anybody was speeding, but whatever the speed limit was, it was like, I don't know, 35 miles an hour, 40, something like that. But that truck hit that white car. Now, that white car, you know, spun out in the intersection, but the black truck, after it made contact with that white car, what happened was it flipped, and then, well, it actually, yeah, it either flipped or it rolled, one of the two, but it ended up in the ditch next to the street pole to my far right. But it was laying on the driver's door, but it was now facing in the opposite direction that it was traveling in. So, and with all this excitement, I'm like, whoa, what just happened here? You know, I'm like, dang. Now, mind you, this is about 4:50, 4:55 in the morning, so not that much traffic was coming through at that time. But luckily, it wasn't any busier, because there could have been a lot more cars involved in that accident. It was a good thing there was only two. But it happened right in front of me, and it happened so quickly. So I'm realizing I'm the only one out there. I see this happening, and I don't know if everybody's okay. Well, once I get out the initial, shock and awe of just seeing an accident in front of me, I hopped out the truck, and I ran over to the guy with in the white car to check on him, because he was closest to me. He was a little bit dazed and confused or what have you, but he was okay. Then I ran over to the guy in the black truck. He flipped, so just looking at the way that he flipped, it looked like he was injured pretty badly. So I ran over there, and I was expecting to see the man all hurt, oh, help me, that kind of stuff. But luckily, thank God that he didn't get hurt any more than what he did. When I ran up to the truck, I noticed that this guy was already, he was already squatting. He was pretty much standing on the driver door, and he was squatting, and he was looking for his cell phone. So when I ran up on him, he stands up, and he pushes the passenger door open. Windows is all busted out and everything. He pushes the passenger door open, And I'm like, dude, are you okay? Are you okay? And so when he looked at me, you know, he looked to be, you know, coherent and everything, but he had a gash on the upper left hand part of his head, where he was bleeding right down the side of his head there, and blood on his sweater and stuff like that, right? I'm like, dang, dude, you got all messed up there. But instead of him wanting to get out of the truck right away, he's trying to look for his phone. He wants to look for his phone. And, you know, I'm like, okay, well, he's good to go. Okay, he can find his phone. But I started seeing smoke coming out from the truck, and I'm like, dude, yo, you're gonna have to get out. You know, I guess because I've been seeing too many videos or watching too many TV shows where after an accident the car catches on fire. You know, and so I'm like, dude, yeah, you need to get out. I don't want to experience, you know, burning up in a truck. So he was able to move. He was able to move just fine. He climbed out of the truck. He was kind of worried that the truck would tip over on me. And I'm like, no, dude, it's fine. Just get out the truck. So he climbed. I'm supporting the passenger door for him, and you know, he's starting to climb out and everything else. So he gets out and he's walking around and everything. So while all this was going on, there was an officer that was actually not too far behind, who rolled up on the scene and noticed that there was, you know, cars, you know, crashed up out here. He had just rolled up where he didn't know. Anyways, so you know, so after he gets out and he starts to assess the situation, you know, I asked him, you know, if there was anything that I needed to help him with. So, you know, pretty much he just had me, you know, fill out a statement, you know, talking about what I witnessed. But yeah, it was crazy, you know, how it just happened so fast. But I tell you what really was crazy to me. Okay, now I wasn't really like, you know, really paying attention to him, because it's just like, you know, all, you know, normal. You see cars go back and forth. I knew that these cars were in the area because, you know, I have to check to make sure that I'm not going to run over anybody. But you know, this is what was weird to me, is that as I saw that white car coming in and across the intersection, it was so weird, because for the next couple seconds I didn't hear not one sound. I didn't even hear the engine of my truck. I didn't hear no outside noises, no nothing, right? Just for, like, I mean, most 2 seconds, it just was completely silent, right? And the two cars kind of like disappeared in my blind spot, where, you know, the frame of the truck and the mirror was kind of blocking everything. So I did see these two come together in that area. However, it didn't click with me at that moment that they were going to collide, right? Why is it that I didn't hear nothing? I didn't even hear there was no skid marks. I didn't hear no attempt to slam on the brakes, which means that they collided at full speed together. But with that said, there was no sound for at least 2 seconds. I didn't even hear the collision. Okay, there was no collision. But I tell you, for that first, you know, that couple of seconds there, I could have swore that things had stopped. Everything had stopped for that moment, like for just a split moment. Didn't hear no noise, no nothing. The two stopped, and then they collided. But when they collided, I didn't hear no noise, right? I didn't hear any noise until I saw the truck flip and started sliding right in front of me, right through the intersection. And I'm like, whoa, dude, what was that? Right? So I'm sitting here like, just pause, like, did I just see that? And then I realized, okay, I'm the only one out here, and these two people, could be seriously injured. So I had to spring in the action, man. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do or what I was going to run up on. But, man, let me tell you, I'm so glad that God didn't allow it to be any worse than it was. But, man, the guy in the white car, he was okay. And the dude in the black truck, even though he had more injuries, he was still okay. He was still okay. So, yeah, I mean, it just, like, literally right in front of me. And I mean, feet. It was just a matter of feet before I would have been involved in that. And I'm so glad that I was not involved in that. I mean, I'm trying so hard out here to be safe and to drive, to drive defensively and offensively, and I'm driving to make sure that I drive and I do certain things to try to prevent an accident, so. But just to say that story, I wanted to tell you that, hey, be careful out there and watch what you're doing. Now, as a matter of, whose fault it was, I say that there's a little bit of fault in all the parties involved. But I would say that the root cause of it was not only just, neglecting to properly scan your area, but I think it was I think it had to do in part with the construction crews setup of the lane blockage. I don't think that they did it well enough to keep an accident from happening. I think that accident could have been avoided if if a couple of things could have been in place. One is that if they needed to have those lanes closed off, they could have put up a no left turn sign at the intersection. Otherwise, they should have left the left turn. They should have been able to leave the left turn lane available for use, so that the street lights will properly direct traffic. And this is what the street lights are for. The street lights are to help us, it's to help guide traffic in a way to where nobody's confused, nobody's going to be taking, daring chances and things like that. So, with the both of them having a green light, nobody stopped, because they're thinking, oh, well, I got the green light. Well, the dude in the white car, I would say, if he just had stopped, scanned the intersection a little better, I think that the accident could have been avoided, or would have been avoided. But yeah, it was just crazy. Now you see, being out here, being a truck driver, you gotta be prepared for this stuff, because you're out there on the road a lot. So there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more chances of you seeing an accident or even being involved in an accident. I've already, I've already seen another accident like that before. I've had to get out and help another driver. This was like in the wintertime. It was Reno. The last winter that we had, the last winter, I was out in Reno, and it was snowing a little bit, snowing quite a bit, and there was enough snow. I can't see. There was enough snow out there to where you couldn't really see the lines on the roadway. So it was, you got snowfall and everything else like that. So it was kind of the roadways were dangerous, But I seen a car spin out. We're on the freeway. We're on the 80, going out of Reno, getting ready to head towards Donner Pass. And this car came around me and wanted to get around me. First of all, they were speeding, even though it's like 60 or 70 or 80 something miles an hour on the freeway, the speed limit. with the road conditions, the speed, the speed limit that you're supposed to drive is, supposed to be taken in consideration to the road conditions. So there was no need for this person to actually, pull off from behind me and take off to try to get ahead of him. I was driving at a slow speed to avoid having an accident such as what had transpired in front of me. And only if that person just had just stayed back there behind me, and just kept pace with me, chances are they would have never had that problem. But because they took off and sped off ahead of me, they drove off into the fast lane where the snow plows hadn't plowed the roads yet. Plus, nobody's been driving over there in that fast lane, so it's just caked on with snow. The right lane, people have been driving right down the right lane there for some time, so so there's a little bit more traction there. But anyways, so this car sped up, went up around me, and probably maybe about 800 feet in front of me from the fast lane, they lost control. And they swerved, and they came back to the right side. So this was another one where the car came in front of me, right? The car spun out in front of me and T-boned the concrete barrier on the right side. Well, what happened was that car smacked it, and it flipped and spun, and then rested upon the concrete barrier. This also happened in front of me. So I pulled off the road there to go check up on these people. And fortunately they didn't get hurt. They just got jostled around or whatever. So you're gonna find if you're out here on the road, you're gonna be exposed to this kind of stuff. So you need to be prepared for that. Number one, be prepared to have to assist in rescuing somebody out of a vehicle. Okay, this is no joke. You gotta be prepared to do what you can to ensure that a person's life could be saved. There was another time where I just rolled up on an accident, which where there was a wrong way driver. This was in Wisconsin, I believe. It was also that same winter. Wrong way driver. It was a car ran into a semi truck. That semi truck happened to be in the same lane that I was traveling in, but just minutes before I got there, that car went head on into another truck, and the car and the truck burst into flames. The truck driver got out, but the person in the car died. So I would say that I avoided that one as well. But there's been other accidents like Albuquerque and things like that where I've come up upon accidents that had just happened or whatever. But yeah, so every time that this happens, I'm like, I gotta refocus myself and be like, hey, look, pay attention out there, watch what's happening, and hopefully you can avoid being in an accident. So, but I just wanted to put that out there. And if you haven't got the what is that when you tell a story and if you haven't gotten the point of what the story was, I'm gonna just tell you again: stay safe, be prepared to help somebody if you happen to see an accident. Now, another thing too is that now if you here's a tip for anybody, especially truck drivers. If you are involved in an accident and you're not injured, or if you happen to see an accident happen unfold right in front of your eyes, here's a couple little things that you should do. Number one is that you should scan the area to make sure that no other traffic is going to get mixed up in in the accident that's already transpired. If you can, move your vehicle to the side or wherever, so that you can so there'll be less of a chance of your vehicle getting struck. Put on your flashers, set your brakes. If time permits, put out your triangles and all kinds of things like that. But also, when it involves other people getting into accidents, check on the people, see what the status is of them. Check to make sure everybody's okay. If somebody is hurt, tell them not to move. Don't let them try to move unless you really need to get them out of the area. Then you move them. But if at any time you got somebody that's injured and they're trying to move, trying to get out, assure them that they should not move, stay in one place. Get on the phone, call 911, or have somebody call 911. Get all the people. If all the people have been recovered from the accident, start directing traffic until law enforcement shows up or what have you. But be prepared to do something. Don't just sit there and just like, oh wow, that was an accident. Ooh, no, be prepared to do something, because you could save somebody's life, and you could even save your own life if you just be proactive, pay attention, be aware of your surroundings, and the chances of you getting involved in that will decrease, or should decrease. But anyways, I done beat this subject into the ground. So, and I was going to talk about some other things, but I already see that I ran quite a long time just on this subject alone. So I'll go ahead and do another video later on. But anyways, God bless y'all, and I pray that you guys are safe out here on these roadways, and also I need to make that at the top of my prayers once again, to pray for my safety and the safety of the people that are around me. But yeah, stay safe out there. Pray, get yourself prayed, and just live your life to the fullest. See you later.